Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with some updates coming out from the Middle East to share with you. We're going to be talking about Israel in this video. I've also got an update regarding Hezbollah, and then we're going to be talking about this attack that Israel is supposed to be carrying out on Iran very soon. As we know, for a few weeks now, since October 1st, from that major attack coming from Iran. Iran fired somewhere around 200 ballistic missiles onto Israel, striking targets all over their territory. And Israel is supposed to be striking back on Iran here some point soon. We don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but we did recently get an update for you guys that Israel is supposed to be carrying out this attack most likely before the November 5th elections in the United States for presidency. So I want to update you on some things that are going on over here. One major update we got today is Israel requesting that the U.S. send a second THAAD missile defense system, okay? So they currently have one of these systems in place in Israel right now, and it requires upwards of almost 100 American troops to man and operate this thing. So if they end up sending a second one over here, this will obviously be upwards of almost 200 American troops that would have to be stationed in Israel just to operate these two THAAD missile defense systems, okay? So to me, this is a very big sign that we're going to see some sort of significant attack onto Iran that will most likely require Iran to strike back onto Israel again. Okay, and this is exactly what the U.S. has been warning about, that we may see some tit for tat attacks going on for some time, maybe for weeks or months, or who knows how long this could go on for. Israel and Iran could keep attacking each other back and forth. But the worst case scenario here is that this thing turns into a regional war where the U.S. could potentially get dragged into it. And then we also had the U.S. warning Iran recently, striking targets down in Yemen using B-2 Spirit bombers. Stealth bombers were destroying underground bunkers inside of Yemen to warn Iran as well and let them know that they could strike some of their nuclear facilities or whatever underground bunkers they have inside of Iran. The U.S. could definitely strike them. So obviously major warnings going off all over the place. So I want to update you on some of the latest going over here in the Middle East. So let's hop on over here to this update from the Times of Israel real quick. I'm just going to briefly go over this article here. It says Israel said to request U.S. send second THAAD missile defense battery ahead of Iran attack. Okay, so this could mean a couple different things. Obviously, they want more air defense for their country because they're expecting Iran to respond. That's how we know this is going to be a pretty significant attack onto Iran when it does come. But also, this could be indicative that maybe Israel is running out of air defense. We have been hearing that they were short on air defense interceptors recently for their Iron Dome system because they've been attacked so much from Hezbollah recently with lots of rockets. So that is a possibility that maybe they feel they don't have enough air defense systems, but the THAAD missile defense battery is supposed to be somewhat similar to a Patriot missile system, okay? So a very sophisticated air defense weapon. It says here Israel has requested that the U.S. send a second THAAD battery to protect the country in case of an Iranian reaction to an expected Israeli reprisal attack, Channel 12 reports. The Pentagon on Sunday confirmed that Washington will send one advanced air defense battery to Israel, along with American soldiers to operate it. The THAAD is considered a complementary system to the Patriot system, but can defend a wider area, capable of hitting targets at ranges of 150 to 200 kilometers or 93 to 124 miles. Each battery consists of 6 truck-mounted launchers, 48 interceptors, radio and radar equipment, and requires 95 soldiers to operate. Okay, so again, approximately 200 soldiers would be deployed into Israel if a second one ends up showing up. And it says here Iran has been bracing for an Israeli retaliation after its October 1st attack, which it said came in response to Israeli strikes in Lebanon last month that killed the top leadership of the Hezbollah terror group, an Iranian proxy, and a July blast in Tehran that killed Hamas Politburo head Ismail Haniyeh. Okay, so obviously looks to me like Israel is expecting a major attack coming from Iran, and it looks like Israel is trying to make sure they cover all their bases right now, make sure they are prepared for this major attack to take place, as obviously what we've been hearing recently is Iran could fire upwards of 2,000 or more ballistic missiles. I wouldn't be surprised even more than that. And we could see definitely the largest attack on Israel to date if this ends up going down. So clearly, Israel appears to be worried about major retaliation coming from Iran after they carry out their strike on them. Okay, so we're going to hop on over to X now, and I'm going to show you a couple things, and then we'll get you guys out of here. From Ozen Defender, U.S. President Joe Biden told reporters earlier in Berlin that he knows how and when Israel will launch its retaliatory strike against Iran, but that he will not be giving any details. Okay, so I did see the clip for this. And apparently, what the reporter asked was, "Do you have any information? Do you know what, when or how Israel is going to carry out their strike onto Iran?" And he basically said, "Yes, I am aware of the plans for Israel to carry out their strike on Iran," but he was not willing to share any details regarding that. Okay, so obviously to protect the plan for whatever Israel is going to carry out onto Iran. So it looks like the Biden administration is aware of Israel's plans. Okay. Also, I wanted to show you guys this, as I've been talking about this for a few days now. But this was reported by Bricks News. Iran says it has weapons far superior to nuclear weapons. Okay, so this is something Iran's been coming out and saying a lot lately, maybe over the last 2 to 3 days, is apparently they have some sort of weapons that they might bring out that is supposed to be far more superior than any kind of nuclear weapon that's been created. And it makes you wonder what could be more superior than a nuclear weapon. I mean, nuclear weapons obviously destroy massive amounts of areas. Just a small nuclear weapon can do major damage. So I can't imagine what could be more superior than a nuclear weapon. Some people have been saying like space lasers and stuff like that. That maybe we're going to start going into the Star Wars world or something. Who knows what it's going to be, but definitely a scary sign that they may even try to deploy something like this. If considering that they do have it, who knows, if they're telling the truth or not. We don't know until they deploy this type of new system. But we'll have to see if they do, and if they do, this could definitely be something major that could move this conflict more from just a tit for tat exchange to a major conflict in the Middle East. So that's why I wanted to share that with you. So we'll see what happens in regards to that. Also, we had this coming out from Dr. Eli David today. Iran's airspace mostly empty as they're waiting for Israel's response, okay? So as you can see, that's just coming out at 1:13 p.m., and it's currently 1:39 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, my time. So in the United States, as we can see here, looks like there are very few planes flying over the airspace of Iran right now. And if you notice, even Iraq as well, not very many planes flying over their airspace also. And that's obviously where a large amount of these ballistic missiles would come from. If they were to try to target Israel, they would fly over Iraq. So we're definitely not seeing very many planes in this area at all. Look, even over Syria, Iraq, definitely not very many planes active in the skies. So it could be a sign that we could be seeing this attack happening at some point soon. Who knows? But this was being reported today from Dr. Eli David. Finally, I've got an update regarding Hezbollah. This from ViceGrad24. Hezbollah vows escalation. Iran hails Sinwar as martyr after his death. Okay, so Sinwar is Yahya Sinwar, the former Hamas leader that was just eliminated yesterday. I reported that to you guys. He was killed in an operation inside of southern Gaza just yesterday. And Israel's been looking for him for a very long time. Here's actually a picture from a drone that was recording him at his final moments. We'll look at that in just a second. But it says here, Hezbollah and Iran vowed to escalate the conflict following the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. Iran's mission to the UN shared drone footage of Sinwar's final moments, showing him wounded and throwing a stick at an Israeli surveillance drone, praising him as a martyr who faced the enemy openly. Hezbollah declared a new and escalatory phase in its war, revealing the use of precision-guided missiles against Israeli targets for the first time. Iran stated that Sinwar's death will strengthen resistance across the region and inspire future generations. Israel confirmed no hostages were harmed during the operation that led to his death. Okay, so here's a picture from the drone footage that was recording him at his last moments. I'm not going to show the drone footage here on this channel because I think it's a little graphic because you can obviously see that his arm is wounded here. So this was at his last moments prior to him being eliminated. I believe he was taken out by a sniper soon after this footage here from this picture. So the information I wanted to show you guys here is that Hezbollah coming out and saying they're declaring a new and escalatory phase. Okay, and apparently this new phase is going to be using precision guided missiles against Israel, which they haven't really been using before. Okay, and this is something obviously expected from Hezbollah because for the most part, Hezbollah has been just using cheap rockets like some of their Katyusha rockets that are Russian made, I believe. They've been using a lot of those to. That's basically been overwhelming the Iron Dome system, and a lot of times exhausting many of their interceptors. Okay, so this is something a lot of people have been talking about for a long time. Is that Hezbollah would use a lot of their cheap rockets in the beginning, and then later on, if Israel starts to run out of interceptors, well, that would be the time for them to use their heavier and more sophisticated weaponry. And Hezbollah recently just coming out as of yesterday, after Sinwar was killed in Gaza, that they were going to escalate the war and potentially start using these precision guided missiles against Israel. So it does look like this war is going to continue picking up, especially between Hezbollah and Israel right now. And then we're obviously still waiting for Israel to carry out their attack onto Iran. And then now that we know that Israel's requesting a second THAAD missile defense system, this is a huge sign that they're expecting a major response from Iran, probably one of the biggest responses yet to date. And I think we're going to see something big come from this. And obviously, that makes sense why all these U.S. military assets are stationed in the Middle East right now. They're preparing for something major to go down, and hopefully it doesn't lead to a major regional war in the Middle East. But let me know what you think down below. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.